Hello legends, welcome to Lazarus Gaming, and today we're doing character creation in the Lord of the Rings Online, the old version, not the new Amazon version, obviously, because that's not been made yet. So I have played this game, and I haven't played it much. I know that. I think every time I've logged in, I've created a character, done the start area, and then logged out and never logged back into it again for some reason. I don't know why that is. I think it's possibly this game released and I was heavily into World of Warcraft at that point, because this is a 2007 release, and WoW would have been 2004. So I would have been like deep into World of Warcraft at that point, I think. And then I went to Rift after World of Warcraft. So I think I bypassed this game for the most part. I probably jumped into it, decided I didn't like it as much as WoW or something, and then just never really played it again. But I like the... I do like the world. I do like the Lord of the Rings worlds. I like the characters that are in it. Mostly I'm drawing from the movies, because the books, I've only read the first book as well, because they are so long. But gameplay aside, we're not here to do gameplay, we're here to do character creation. So let's get into it. New character. I have the HD pack installed as well. They when I installed this game for this video, actually, I started the game up and it asked me to if I wanted to install HD files, and I mean the answer is obviously yes, because who wouldn't want HD files? The game before, there was a big difference. I should have screenshot the difference between the two, actually. There is quite a significant difference between the HD files and the standard game when you first install. Anyway, so we have 7 classes, 7 races, and they are not gender locked by the looks of it, but they are paywalled for some of these. So the high elf is, you cannot create a character of this race until you purchase it in the LOTRO store. Okay, so you have to actually buy that. So this is probably like an added character later on or something. There's a couple of classes that are also pay locked as well. So these are all going to be, yeah, so you have to actually buy these from the store. Which opens up in an external browser. So okay. Alright, so you have, let's go through the races first. And just as an aside, to actually buy the races, the high elf is 1,000, and the stout axe, okay, they're both 1,000. So for a race, it's 1,000 pennies or whatever these currency is that they've got here. And the classes are about $7.95 roughly. And the real world value of that is, oh, that's super annoying. Look at that. You can buy 700 or 1,950. And there's nothing in between. There's no like 1,000. So you'd have to buy the either 2 700 packs for $16 US. So they're $8 each US. If for 700 LOTRO points, or 1,950 LOTRO points are $20 US. And then they also have 4,100, 8,850, 15,750, and 33,500, which is a whopping $200 US. I would not be buying that, to be honest. I don't want to play those classes or races that much, I don't think. But okay, so let's get on with the character creation. So, man. Not as long-lived as elves, sturdy as dwarfs, or resilient as hobbits, men are renowned for their courage and resourcefulness. And they get, these are obviously racial traits, so they get improved fate. Men have the greatest destiny of all the free peoples, 15 to fate. I don't know how important fate is, haven't played, so... they have less will. Men have weaker wills than the other races, so you get -7. Increased moral restoration. Men are more quickly emboldened than the other races, so +5% healing, incoming healing. Improved strength. The feats of strength that men such as Boromir could accomplish are worthy of song. +15 might. So they get a bonus on might. So they've actually got a negative, but they've got 3 bonuses. Okay, high elf. Which they do look nice. The high def pack does make it look a lot nicer. So high elves. Those who have beheld the beauty of Valinor and their descendants possess grace and strength beyond even their woodland kin. Those few who remain yearn to see what Middle-earth, yearn to see that Middle-earth is safe to bequeath to men before they depart for the Undying Lands. So these must be, I guess, actually these are probably the elves that help Boromir and everyone. And these guys must be the ones who have already gone, but they might be the archers or something. I don't know who they relate to in the movies, I'm just guessing. It's probably wrong. If you want to let me know which ones are which, just put it in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the ding dong if you want to see more character creation videos. High elves, those who have beheld the beauty of Valinor. I've read that, sorry. Sorrow of the Undying. They get a -7 will, so that's the same as the humans. You have witnessed the passing of ages and still feel the hurts of those lost in the battles of the elder days. -7 fate. Reduced fate. The time of the elves in Middle-earth is nearly at its end. Peace of the Elder. +20 maximum morale. +60 non-combat morale regeneration. Increased morale and morale regeneration. In times of peace, your vitality and spirit are renewed more swiftly than those of the younger races of the world. Suffer no illness. Improved resistance to disease and poison. Elves do not suffer illness, so you get 1% disease resistance, 1% poison resistance. Dwarf. Dwellers of stone and miners of metal. The dwarfs are a doughty folk, resistant to the corruption of the enemy, but not to greed. They get sturdiness. They actually get loads. They get 5. What do these two have? These two have 4 and 4. Sturdiness. Increased might and vitality. Improved common damage mitigation. Dwarves are a sturdy race. +15 might, +10 vitality, +1 common mitigation. 1% common mitigation. Reduced agility. Dwarves are naturally less agile than other races. -7 agility. Nobody has any fate that's plussed. This is all minuses at the moment. Lost Dwarf Kingdoms. Reduced fate. The dwarf's time in Middle-earth is fading. -7 fate. Bonus to morale and power. Regeneration in combat. Penalty to morale and power regeneration out of combat. +30 in combat morale regeneration. +30 in combat power regeneration. minus 60 non-combat morale regen, minus 30 non-combat power regen. So when you're out of combat, you actually get a massive penalty to regeneration. That's different. One-handed axes allows the use of one-handed axes. Axes have a small chance of reducing the target's armor. Interesting. So stout axe, I imagine these would be much the same, as they're part of the same, as they're both dwarfs. The stout axes were once a part of one of the 7 houses of the dwarfs, known as Drussa's folk. Brought to ruin by their desire for the ring granted to them by Sauron, Drussa's folk doomed their descendants to an era of thraldom in the Blackland. I'm not sure what the Blackland is, but so they have unyielding will. So they actually have a plus to will. Increased will. Despite suffering many centuries of thraldom, the will of the stout axes has never been broken. Plus 15 will, plus 1% common mitigation. Increased might and agility, improved resistance to shadow and disease. It is whispered that Sauron bred some among the stout axes using the same methods that had produced the mighty Uruk-hai and Olog-hai. Whether that is truly so is unknown, even to the wise, but it is certain that the stout axes have grown accustomed to the unforgiving realm of Mordor. Plus 1% shadow mitigation, plus 1% disease resistance, plus 15 might, plus 5 agility. So I'll do a compare of those two dwarf races in a minute, and the same for the elves, because I want to see the differences. Shadow of the Eye, reduced vitality, known to the orcs of Mordor as Shalk Glob or Stone Filth. The stone axes have long served as thralls of the Dark Lord of Mordor. After enduring years of tireless labour and ill nourishment, the stout axes have lost some of their sturdiness they once possessed, so they get a minus 7 vitality and a minus 10 fate. Man, nobody has any future in this game apparently. Reduced fate. Drussa's folk were cruel people, and the ring given to their king by Sauron led them into war against their kin. When the Dark Lord demanded the ring's return, however, they refused, and his armies besieged and sacked their halls. The enemy took many of the survivors back to Mordor as prisoners, forcing them to toil in the mines and pits of the Blackland for centuries. Stripped of their history, their clan name, and even their own language, they became lost people. As years passed, they adopted a new clan name, the Stout Axes. One-handed axes. Allows use of one-handed axes. Axes have a small chance of reducing the target's armor. Okay, so that's the same. And then they had... So they've got that massive comp. So they've got minus 7 fate. They've got minus 10 fate. Agility and might they've got. Okay, so... Oh no, they are quite different. Yeah, although they've both got might. But one's got minus agility and the other's got plus agility. Okay. Hobbits. Happiest when enjoying a simple life with 6 square meals a day. Hobbits are solid, red fat, and dependable when called to action. Small size, reduced might. Hobbits lack the physical strength of other races. Minus 7 might. Improved vitality. Hobbits are remarkably tough. Plus 15 vitality. Improved morale regeneration out of combat. Hobbits recover from trying times faster than others. Plus 60 non-combat morale regeneration. Improved fear. Morale must be... I'm not sure... I don't want to say. I don't know what morale is. It might be like the energy you use to do attacks or something, or spells, or you know, you might need it as a currency for doing actions. Improve fear resistance. The slow kindled courage of the Hobbit race. +1 fear resistance. 1% fear resistance. Improve shadow mitigation. Hobbits have a great resistance to temptation. +1% shadow mitigation. I'm not a fan of these sort of classes. A dwarf I would play, but I draw a line at the dwarf, and the Hobbit is just, it's a borderline lolly class in my opinion, and I wouldn't play them. But each to their own. Okay, the elf. Long ago the elves welcomed the younger races of Middle-earth and allied with them when their need was great, but centuries of war, betrayal and hardship have made them fiercely protective of their seclusion. Sorrow of the Firstborn. Morale, reduced morale and morale regeneration out of combat. Elves feel themselves more deeply than other races and are more subject to sorrow. -20 maximum morale, -60 non-combat morale regeneration. Improved agility. The grace of the elder is remembered in legend. +15 agility. Reduced fate. Time of the elves in Middle-earth is nearly at its end. -7 fate. Improved resistance to disease and poison. Elves do not suffer illnesses. Okay, so 1% disease and poison resistances. So that's the same as high elves. I remember that. 7 fate is the same as the high elves. Yep, 7, 8, and 15 agility, and then the non-combat and combat illnesses. So they've got will and fate that they get down. They actually get the opposite. So they've got 20 maximum morale and 60 non-combat regeneration, whereas the elves have it minus. That's the same. So the high elf is actually, I would say, probably better. At a guess, mind you, the speed, the agility on this one's higher. It's interesting that they all have a minus and plus figures for their all of their different skills. The Bjorning, they look like Norsemen type characters, barbarians. Bjornings descended from ancient men and can skin change into bears when angered. They are gruff, distrustful, impolite, respect all creatures of nature, and hate orcs more than anything. That is actually a cool. If they can skin change into bears when angered. That's cool. They're sort of like a druid in World of Warcraft, but just with a bear. So they get Might of the Wild. Increased might. Bjornings wield a frosty unmatched by other races. +15 might. Reduced fate. So few in number the Bjornings' fate is in question. -7 fate. Jesus Christ. Improvised poison resistance. +1 poison resistance. Increased vitality. Bjornings are thick-skinned. +15 vitality. So has anybody got plus fate? No. They definitely didn't. Fate. -10 fate on that one. -7 fate. So every single race in this game has a questionable future. Oh no, humans have 15 fate. Okay, so humans are literally the only people in the game who are going to survive, according to this. So let's just flick through the females. I mean, that looks like... Dwarves can only be male. but stone axes can be both. Oh, Jesus. Although that looks like a male. How's that a woman? It is a male. Maybe it's because I haven't unlocked it. I don't get to see the other one. Hobbits can be female. Elves obviously can be female. And Bjornings can be female. So the dwarfs are actually gender locked. They're the only class that's gender locked. That's weird. And the stout axes are possibly gender locked, but I haven't unlocked them, so I'm not sure if that's just a glitch or I haven't unlocked it, so I don't get to see the other sex. Interesting. Okay, so let's start the classes at the top. I'm just going to flick to the Bjorning because the first one is Bjorning. Again, race and class are both locked behind a paywall, and it doesn't show there, but it shows here because this is actually a class, which is weird. So I'd imagine once you unlock it there, it unlocks, and the Bjorning can only be this one class, and they are an advanced difficulty. There are damage and support roles available to them. They are skin changes that can change into the form of a bear in combat. They focus their wrath while in bear form, choosing to deal grievous blows or bolster their own resolve. While skilled in combat, some Bjornings also choose to wield their knowledge of the wilderness to assist their allies. I'm probably butchering the way this name is actually said. I won't read the lore though. This class is inspired by Bjorn, who bravely stood with the free peoples during the Battle of Five Armies. Okay. Damage or support classes. Alright, so let's go with man, because they can be most of these classes, so this will be easier for that. So, a Burglar is an advanced difficulty class, and it's a support role. Burglars are masters of debuffing, skills that cause foes to deal less damage or be easier to kill. They utilize their trick skills to debuff foes and can later remove the tricks for additional benefits. Burglars also have stealth skills and are proficient at initiating fellowship maneuvers. In fellowships, a burglar supports his allies by debuffing foes while dealing respectable damage. I'm assuming a fellowship is a group, or maybe a guild. I'm not sure about that. This class is inspired by the famous Bilbo Baggins, who accompanied Thorin and company on their quest to the Lonely Mountain. I'm glad that's not based on Frodo, because Frodo is lame. So Captain. Captain is a moderate difficulty class to play. They have a support role. Captains are armored melee. They look like damage dealers. How are they a support class? Look at their sword. How's that a support sword? Captains are armored melee fighters and masters of buffing, skills that enhance allies. They may summon a herald companion to fight by their side, ensuring they always have an ally to buff. They can also mark foes, giving benefits to all who attack them. In fellowships, a captain supports his allies with healing and buffs, while still dealing respectable damage. This class is inspired... oh, lordy. This class is inspired by Eomer, last king of Gondor, who was revered both as a captain skilled in arms and as a lawmaster. Eomer. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but... Champion. Basic. You're a basic bitch. Roll. Damage. Yeah, damage dealers tend to be a fairly basic role. That's why I play them, because they are basic and you don't have any responsibility for keeping people alive or, you know, protecting people or holding aggro. All you have to do is damage things. It's a much better way of playing, in my opinion. Gameplay. Champions wade into battle, swinging their weapons in all directions, dealing significant damage to many foes at once. With each strike, their fervor grows, allowing them to use even more potent skills. Special stances may be used to greatly increase damage dealt at the cost of defense, or enhance defense at the cost of damage. In Fellowships, a champion concentrates on engaging as many foes as possible. This is inspired by Gimli, son of Gloin, whose skill in arms matched the bow skills of Legolas. So it's actually based on a dwarf. Interesting. This guy actually looks quite cool. Guardian. Basic class difficulty, roll defense. Guardians wear heavy armor and have many defensive skills that allow them to survive battles against the most fearsome foes. Guardians also have skills that draw foes' attention away from their allies and to themselves. In Fellowships, a Guardian forces enemies to attack himself so that his more fragile allies will not be harmed by the foes. This class was inspired by the Hobbit Samwise Gamgee, whose loyalty to Frodo Baggins knew no bounds. Yes. So that's obviously the tank. Champion's obviously the DPS warrior class. And the captain is... That's a funny one. I wonder if that's sort of like a crusader or something. Hunter. Basic damage. Looks quite cool. Hunters are proficient at dealing significant damage to a single foe at long range. Their basic bow skills generate focus points, allowing them to use even more potent skills. If a foe manages to close into melee, the hunter's dual-wielded weapons are capable of dealing the final blow. In Fellowships, a hunter concentrates on quickly killing foes one at a time. This class obviously inspired by Legolas, Prince of Mirkwood, a mighty hunter and companion of Aragorn. I wonder where Aragorn is. Warden? Lawmaster. Class difficulty advanced. Role support. That looks like a mage. I wonder why there's no... There actually isn't a mage class here. That's weird. Okay, Lawmaster. Class difficulty advanced. Role support. Lawmasters are the masters of crowd control, skills that trap foes and keep them from fighting. They may call on animal companions to fight by their side, and even call on elemental forces to damage their foes. So he is sort of a... These are sort of a mage as well then. They're kind of like a CC damage dealer, I suppose. But I like that. They may call on animal companions to fight by their side. That is cool. I might make one of these and just play around and see what that actually is. In Fellowships, a Lawmaster concentrates on supporting his allies primarily by hindering the foe's ability to deal damage. This class was inspired by Elrond Half-Elven, Elf Lord and Master of Rivendell. Minstrel. Cool. Class difficulty moderate. Role healer. Oh, that's interesting. This is the healing class. Minstrels are known for their healing abilities and are capable of dealing respectable damage with war speech. They have a variety of support skills and special ballads. Using a ballad unlocks more potent ballads, which culminate with powerful anthems. In Fellowships, a minstrel keeps his allies healed and supported. That's interesting. They're sort of like the bard from EverQuest, maybe. This class was inspired by Luthien Tinuviel, whose elven voice beguiled friend and foe alike. You have to forgive me if I'm saying some of these names wrong, without actually being able to hear what they are, or having heard them said. I'm not sure how they're supposed to be pronounced. I can see the little accents above the U and stuff, and I'm assuming there's some sort of special way to say that, but I don't know. So Warden, class difficulty advanced, role defense. Wardens are mobile melee combatants who use javelins for initiating combat and against ranged foes. So they've got a shield and a spear or javelin. Their unique warden shields and a variety of defensive skills allow them to stay in the fight longer than most. Basic warden skills build up their gambit chain, which can be spent to unleash special gambit skills. In fellowships, a warden forces enemies to attack himself or herself. Let's not be sexist. So his more fragile allies will not be harmed by the foes. So sort of a, what did they say? Support? Defense. So he's like a tank. This class was inspired by the March Warden of Lothlorien, Haldir, and his brothers Rumil and Orofin. Some of these names are cool. Okay, so who can be the Runekeeper? This guy can. Okay. So High Elves can be the Runekeeper. Dwarfs can be a Runekeeper. Stout Elves, Stout Axis can be a Runekeeper. The normal elf can be a Runekeeper, and that's it. Okay, so they are elf and dwarf can be Runekeepers. Runekeeper is class difficulty moderate, roll damage and healer. Okay, so there's another healer. Runekeepers must choose during each battle to focus on damaging skills or healing skills. Either choice will shift their attunement, unlocking more potent skills but restricting access to others. In addition, they have support skills that may always be used. In fellowships, a Runekeeper keeps allies healed or deals significant damage to the foes. So it's both a cleric and a mage, depending on which one you want to use. I wonder, it says can be used, must choose at the beginning of each battle. So I'm assuming the first spell you cast defines what you're going to be, but then if you start a new fight, you can choose again whether you want to be healing or damage dealer. I wonder if it's per kill or per fight. Like, if you're in combat with 3 mobs, can you switch to healing on the second so you get your heals back up again? I don't know. If anybody knows the answer to that, let me know. Because I'm not going to pay $8 for a game I don't play just so that I can find that out. But if somebody wants to send me $8, and then I'll unlock it and I'll let you know, and I'll make a video about it. No, this class is inspired by the Master Elfsmith Celebrimbor, whose skill with runes of power was unparalleled. Cool. So let's create this rune maker. Lore master. Why is that locked? Half elf. Okay, let's go elf, because magic users. Okay. Let's go female as well. Continue. Okay, so we've got another fairly simple character creator. You choose an origin that does not seem to do anything except possibly you start in a different area each time. And then we have 20 different head types that are very minor differences. So definitely nothing too crazy about this character generator, obviously. So we'll do some dainty little nose, something like that maybe. 22 hairstyles, still decent amount of hairstyles, still more hairstyles than WoW has. Standard ponytails. A nice little tiara. Oh, it's like a weird fan. Okay. Only 4 types of eyes. That looks like makeup is the only thing that changes there. Eyebrows 7. Mouth just seems to change the color of the lips. And you can have tiaras. Eye colors can be green, brown, blue. Can't zoom in. Oh, you can zoom in. That was zoomed in. Okay. Again, still better than World of Warcraft. Okay, skin colors are very normalized, like pink. Nothing. You can't be green or, you know, some weird color. Hair color is just very limited, black through to dark brown with a light brown in the middle. And body type, imagine that's okay, so that's fat or thin. And that's it. That is the character creator. Once you type in your name in, obviously you're going to go back to the character creation screen. Let's give her a name, just see. No. Oh, we won't, because it'll probably take us into a video. So it's interesting. It's I mean, it's still a more advanced character creator than World of Warcraft, and it has quite a lot of backstory and stuff just built into each character that you're choosing, with the racial bonuses being described why they're giving those racial bonuses as well, or racial weaknesses. It's cool. I like it. So what I might do is this guy here. I might play this chap in future videos. Let me know if you want to see Lord of the Rings online videos from a noob's point of view, and which class and race you want to see me playing in, and we'll see what we can do. Avatar update visible. Okay, so that must be advanced graphics. You can just see the face slightly changing each time I put it on. Cool. Okay, so that is Lord of the Rings. Thank you for watching this video. That was actually quite a long video, considering that it's quite a basic creator. If you liked the video, hit like. If you want to subscribe, hit subscribe. Hit the ding dong for notifications, and see you soon.